Good evening, my fellow Americans. It is indeed Monday, actually Tuesday. It is Tuesday, August the 9th. This is our first Tuesday night show, as we announced to you last week that the Robert Duverny show will be aired on every Tuesday now from 8 p.m. Now, you know, if it's Tuesday, if it's 8 p.m., it is the Robert Duverny show. Well, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for logging in this evening. We have somewhat of a busy news network as of late. I'd like for you to call a friend, a colleague, let them know that the Robert Duverny show just logged in, and we encourage you to call a buddy right now. Let them know that we are on. You know, if it's Tuesday now, if it's 8 p.m., it is the Robert Duverny show. Well, I'm going to give you a few seconds to call a colleague. Let them know that we are on. There's quite a few things going on in the news. I'm sure we have a lot to delve into, but tonight will be a night of groundbreaking. And then, as you know, that we actually just launched a new hour, and which will be convenient for both you and, of course, the little one will be going to school as of next week. We take all these things into equation. At the Robert Duverny Show, we're all about family values, we're about the American people, and also the information that comes to you on a regular basis. It's already 8:02. I'm going to delve into some topics with you, and we encourage your questions, your comments, and all these are really important to us, to the Robert Duverny Show, because this show is done with you in mind, and no one else but the savvy, the American people, those who hunger for knowledge, those who want nothing but the truth, those who look for impartiality. And this is what we do. Well, tonight what we'd like to start off with you is, of course, the news that has been circulating since yesterday, August the 8th. Just yesterday, Monday, we had a series of events that took place at the Mar-a-Lago. Mar-a-Lago is the estate of former President Donald Trump, who somewhat has been an alleged subject for the FBI, and it is historical. This is the first time in the U.S. history that the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, has launched an investigation into the former president of the United States, and this is unprecedented. But then again, what we see here in the state, we can tell that this is still a country of law. The United States is still a country of laws, and this is something that we should take into consideration. The Attorney General, Mr. Merrick Garland, has said it from the get-go that no one is above the law. I guess if no one is above the law, no one will be getting a free pass in whatever alleged allegation that may have been. What's happening right now, since you all know President Trump left office on January 20th of 2021. While he left office, there were quite a few pertinent information that was taken with him. In other words, boxes, information that the government may have found to be crucial. And these documents have been the subject of the investigation, because these should have been with the National Archives. There are informations in there that are just critical to the national security, and also these are things that we would learn about down the road. Let's say 50 years, 100 years later, that these information could be declassified. But these information are very sensitive. They were not supposed to be elsewhere but with the National Archives. The National Archives, they conduct inventory, and in their inventory there were some documents that were missing. So they wanted the former president to return these documents to the rightful owner, which is the American people. And so everything could go at ease. So right now, it's all allegation. The Robert Duverny show, we're very impartial. We just rely on the news, and because there's a lot of factors out there, a lot of noise. I think we should always stay above the fray. And there are those their main objective is to persuade, is to sway public opinion intentionally, just so they can pass the message. Again, I believe that the system is working, and it tells me that United States is not like those banana republic that we've come across, South America, and also the Caribbean, the likes of Haiti and Cuba, and South America, Venezuela, to name a few. And we have those de facto government who tend to run things the way they choose. But even in Europe, part of Europe, and you have Russia, who have somewhat of a government that is ruled by one man and one party, and they are the complete law and order. But this is what the lawmakers in the United States trying to maintain that sanctity of the government. And every so often, when these things happen, you and I should take heed and get to appreciate our nation. And that's one thing that that seems to be fading away. But I think as Americans, we should be proud of our government. And that tells me if I commit some kind of crime, or I'm not above the law, and that's called due process. I mean, yet he's not charged, but there's a grand jury who looked at the evidence that was presented, and there's a judge who actually signed off on it. Say, well, I'm granting you permission to go into the home of the former president and retrieve those documents that belong to the National Archives. It's nothing else. And it's unfortunate what we've seen as of last night, and the former president took the bullhorn and calling his supporters to chip in because he needs to go after these guys. So, and this is an opportunity to make money. And I think that's all. Most politicians, that's what they do. They're in the business to make money, and mislead the average people. I mean, and same thing goes in a lot of other practices that we may not want to get into, since we're sticking with politics right now, and we're going to stick with it. But this is what authoritarian leaders do. They try to sway you in such a way, and they're always the victim. And the one thing that we should always look at is the approach as being the victim, and they call themselves the victim just so you can sympathize with their cause, and that's when they get you. When you sympathize with them, you believe in their crusade, or a lot of better word, or better yet, you believe in their philosophy, you tend to go along with it, and that's what it gets you. So the president right now is doing the fundraising, and money is just pouring in, and it's sad. It's a sad day. It's a sad day for. I think it's best that we can sit back. It's not a time for either Democrats or Republicans to be tearing each other apart and saying things that is derogatory. I think we need to sit back. If this is a country of laws, we have a constitution, we have what you call due process. I think let it play itself out. Let it play itself out. If you've been accused of a crime, well, present all the evidence. And to be honest with you, President Trump has a unique opportunity right now to present to the American people. Just make a copy of it and put it on his social media account, and show the search warrant that the judge issued, and then that will settle the case. I think that's what being transparent will be. Okay, I want to go with the president. I'm with you. I mean, if I think injustice has been done, I want to be there with you, because like Dr. King said, an injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So the same thing that can happen to President Trump could happen to me too. Could happen to you, my viewer. But let's present the fact, let's present to the American people the search warrant. You claim it's the Democrats who are after you. I understand that. I respect that. But there has been a search warrant. Let's put it out there. Let's see what they're asking. And if you don't have them, you don't have them. You never took them. And case closed. And then we can ramp up. And at the time, you're going to be making money. And then this is what I hope that my people, my American brothers and sisters would raise their questions. Don't take it that something personal. I mean, Mr. Trump is a interesting character. I mean, he can afford not to follow the guy. He's very entertaining. But again, when it comes to misleading the people, I think it's a disservice. All right. So it's already 8:12. I'd like to say good evening to some of you, my viewers who logged in. Again, I'd like to say good evening to Mr. Ambrose Odelson from the great city of Miami. Keep up the good work you're doing, sir. Good evening to Miss Ramey from the great city of Pembroke Pines, and Dr. Duverny, of course. I'd like to greet you. And I see there's one question, because I'm going to close that segment here to jump to the new one. Do you think they would have taken the risk to go to this house if there was no probable cause? That's a brilliant question, Mr. Ambrose. They would not. Let me put it this way. For the Justice Department, DOJ, Department of Justice, to reach the foregone conclusion, to go before a grand jury and present them evidence, and that grand jury in turn really of course with the judge to sign off on that search warrant, there is probable cause. This is not a black man driving a car on the street. All right, I put it this way: African American easily stop on the street for no reasons, and well, sometimes you're in the wrong neighborhood. Sometimes you're driving a car that may not, suit you. And a police officer, because that's the reason why once you're a driver, you have a driver license to operate a motor vehicle. A police officer can stop you for any reason. And he will justify it. The guy's not going to stop you and say, well, I'm stopping you because you're driving a nice car and you don't seem to be someone who on this car. No. That will be profiling. That will be prejudice regardless of the color of the officer. Yet, is there's probable cause? That's a good word that you use here. That's a legal jargon. If there's probable cause here, the police officer will stop you. Let's say while you're driving, one of your tail light, your brake light does not come on when you apply the brake. That right there is hazardous. So the officer can stop you and then and ask you for your driver license, of course your registration, and normally when they ask you for these things, I mean they're going somewhere. Now they ask you for these things just to do a quick run to see if there's any pending warrant for you, or if there's a gag order or what have you. And in the process, that one day after they conducted everything they need to. They'll go ahead, and the reason why they stop you. Well, sir, while you're driving here, you have a tail light that is not functioning. I'm going to give you a warning ticket to get this corrected. You have 30 days to fix it. See, the probable cause was that you were driving with a tail brake light that is not lit up. So that was the probable cause. Now, in the process, they can delve into. Let's say if you didn't have an insurance, okay? If you didn't have auto insurance, that right there could get you in. Let's say your car registration was not up to date. They can book you in. Let's say if if your license were suspended, that could easily send you a night in jail. So probable cause always the main factor that will cause it. Now, in the case of the former president, is the fact that when he left the White House, there were documents that belong to the National Archives. Because remember, as a president, as a senator, as a U.S. representative, even as a mayor, as a governor, you are a public servant. You were elected to serve the public. Now, respective of your state. Now, if you're from Florida, you were voted in to represent the people of Florida. So every time you go to work, every time you go on the Senate floor, every time you at the governor mansion, you're working on behalf of the people of Florida. And then let the other 49 states take care of this stuff. So your job is to take care of home. Home is where the bacon is. All right. So as a public servant, everything that you do, the reason why as a public official, if you receive any gifts, any monetary, any gifts of value, all these gifts must be documented. They have to be declared because this can come back and haunt you. Let's say somebody give you a Rolex watch worth $100,000. This morning I was watching. A buddy of mine was going through his some sites, and then he was showing me a watch going for 1.9 million. 1.9 million. Spend $2 million on a watch. I think this is crazy. But that tells me if one of your constituents were to give you a watch of this price, of this kind of money, there's got to be somewhat of a hidden agenda behind it. I mean, I may love my governor, I may love my senator, put it this way. Great affinity for my senator, my governor, and my president. But if you give him a watch for $2 million, what's the incentive? What's the motive behind it? And that's the reason why it's best that you declare these things. Now, they have to be declared, and they want to know what is the relationship that you were given this watch, because you're a public servant, and you're not the only public servant serving. Why you giving the governor a watch worth $2 million, and he's your county mayor or your police chief within your county or within your city, within your municipality. You didn't even bother to get him a bottle of water. Give him a case of water. Okay, so that in itself it raises questions, and that's the reason why. All right. So I hope that this was cleared up, and then I remember that as a public servant, everything that you receive, gifts must be declared, and because it shows transparency, and that's the whole thing, and that's exactly why the FBI went after President Trump to get these things. Because they did talk to him back in February. They were back and forth, wanted to get those documents. They never returned. Well, said, well, they don't belong to you. Well, remember, we are Department of Justice, so we're going to come and get them. Simple as that. And he knew about it. It's not like the guy didn't know they were coming. So, all right. So, case closed. So, let's see what happened. I think we let the justice system play its course, and we'll see what happened afterward. All right. Good night, Mrs. Boney from the great city of Miramar. Thank you for logging in to the Robert Duverny Show. All right. Another thing I'd like to share with you, besides this, it's the U.S. economy. As you all know, the month of July has been somewhat gracious to the job market. The U.S. job market has added 582,000 jobs for the month of July. This is a record unseen. The U.S. economy continues to add jobs. So that means there's a job for everyone out there. So if you're not working, there's a good time to sharpen your skills. And those of you who always leave a dead-end job, I think you have a unique opportunity to really look into if you want to change career, changing job, because a career, that's something that you enjoy doing. And but job, that's something you jump back and forth. But you all know the jargon here. I think that right there is a plus for the Biden administration. Again, issue with the Democratic Party, they don't sell their products well. They need good salesmen. A job market of this magnitude, 582,000 jobs. The Biden administration has added over 4 million jobs, almost, if I'm not mistaken, since his arrival. So that tells you that they have a strong job market, although we still have inflation. And they pass a big legislation, the climate change control, and they put more money into the insurance. So climate change, that's something that we all know. I'm sure those of you who've been out there on the road or even at the beach, you know extremely well how crucial the weather condition has been as of late. Every time we go out there and we can feel the heat, it tells us that there's something changing in the weather. So the government has always fought to get legislation to pass, and yet they've never reached that. But as of last Sunday, with the help of course, Joe mentioned from West Virginia, and also Senator from Arizona, they were able to reach some kind of a deal, and then it was dead at 50-50, and of course, the Senate is a 50 Democrats, 50 Republicans, but then again, in the Senate we still have 2 independent. It would be 48 Democrats and 2 independents, but those 2 independents, they always voted along with the Democratic Party. Yet, of course, Kamala Harris was a tiebreaker. She's served as the Vice President of the United States. She's the President of the Senate, so she came in and broke the huddle. And that's the reason why we have this historic legislation who took place just this Sunday, and I think it's a plus for the administration. Again, the reason I'm bringing this up is that when you have a story, the moral of what I just told you, you are the best individual to tell that story. Don't let anyone else tell your story. Well, for the simple fact that you leave that story. If there is anyone who can put some twist to it, any flavor, lack of a better word, it will be you. And that's the reason why the Democratic Party has failed themselves numerously on time after time. And we have an election coming up. They're not driving their message home. Okay. Again, full disclosure, at the Robert Duverny show, we are impartial. We're not taking side of any party, but we like to lay out the case before you, the public, the smart people, those of you who are logged into the Robert Duverny show. At this show, we tend to bash both parties, because we don't pledge any allegiance to any party. But we pledge allegiance to the United States of America. Because the United States of America, this is the country that we all love. When politicians will tell you something today, and then the next day they tell you something else. Now, with regards to the Republican Party, they are the party of the opposing case. I mean, they haven't proposed anything, but yet they stand a good chance of winning the House. And I'm sure if I were to advise them, what I would tell the Republican Party, it's getting close to the finish line. And the Biden administration has stumbled on numerous occasions. I mean, with inflation, gas, you name it, until they finally coming out of the hole. And they have a unique opportunity to present a case to the American people. This is what we intend to do. This is what our agenda will be. This is what we're aiming at. None of that. There is no policy. There is no agenda in place. Because right now, if I'm a voter, as an independent, I'm on the sideline. I have two salesmen wanted to sell me some goods, and I need the goods. I'm here. It's like, but then again, who I should go with? I mean, they're both selling, but then again, what are they selling? How can I? Why should I go with the Republican and not the Democrat? Or why should I go with the Democrat and not with the Republican? So that's where none of them are doing a good job as far as selling to the American people. That's the issue I take with them. For the simple fact, I think the American people are smart. They are very genuine and also very patient. And I think every time lawmakers or politicians give us lip service, I think it's really a disservice to the nation. And our children, our future generations depend on what you do today. And that's why I think we should be truthful to the people that we represent, because they want you to represent them to your best of your ability, not to mislead them and in any way or shape or form. And that's the issue that I take with both parties. Both parties have been bickering for some time, and sometimes I wonder if this is a kindergarten class. I mean, the fact that none of them cannot come up to an agreement, to a consensus, it's either my way or the highway. So that kind of attitude, that kind of mentality, it's very detrimental. And again, I think we, as elected officials, more can be done. Let's set the bar so high that future generations, youngsters, can aspire to serve. And now it's a shame that you don't see great folks. I mean, people with character wanting to serve at the political scene. Simple fact that they don't want to be associated. They don't want to be associated with our current leaders, because that's not who we are. And if I'm man of great integrity, and the minute I go into politics, well, they tend to paint me with the same brush. And then now you could say, well, how about you go there and change things? But you want man. But how about if we, the lawmakers, we were to able to be truthful to the people, and let's encourage others to take part. There's a party here that's right now, they don't want you to vote. They want you to stay home, and because they have ways. And then but we want everybody to come in together. We want everybody to partake in our electoral system. And that's what makes us great, when we have different ideologies, different personalities, different approach to something. I think that's what makes America great. I think we have a unique opportunity as Americans to serve this nation to the best of our ability. This nation has always been there for us. And the best thing we can do is to live it better than we found it. That's the question mark to you tonight. Are you willing to go the extra mile? Even if it costs you an election. Even if it costs you a seat that you long held. So very important. So I see quite a few guys just coming in here. I'd like to say kudos to Ms. Tricia Jacob, who just logged in, and of course Minister Lunia Yellen from the great city of Sunrise. Thank you for logging in. Dr. Ezor from the great city of Atlanta, Georgia. Of course, Mr. Emmanuel from Davie, Florida. Apparently, it is a big mega fan of Make America Great Again. All right, we have a great supporter here. That's good. So this is how this platform is all about. I'd like to see those views, or those who think that it's important that we can engage in type of conversation, and that's what makes America great. When we all come together, regardless of opinion, just, you know what, it's like you're arguing a case at the court. So the best case will prevail. So make sure that when you're presenting a case, you can back it up, And that's exactly what we hope that our leaders will do, and represent the nation to the best of their ability, and then be truthful to all of them. All right, and we'd like to take any questions. Those of you who may have questions. It's already 8:30, and I'd like to make it just while you're getting your questions typed up and reviewing what we're talking about. I'd like to say the Robert Duverny Show has launched its new scheduling hour. As you know, every Tuesday right now, this is a time that we log in. We encourage you to come in at 8 p.m. Every Tuesday. I know there's a lot of things going on out there. We don't want to bombard you with too much, and that's why we try to keep the show within 30 minutes. And then those of you may have questions. If I didn't get a chance to answer, if you didn't get a chance to ask your questions tonight, you may watch the show in replay. And I encourage you. You can always send me questions. I'll be more than happy to either answer them to you directly during the show, or I can also instant message you and what have you, because my platform is open to the American people. I mean, all walks of life, regardless of your party affiliation. We're here to present the best case, to the American people. My job is easy. You know what? My job is easy because I'm stating the truth. I don't have to twist anything, and they've all been backed up, and we're just sticking the truth. We're just sticking the truth. And in the great word of Christ, it says, "You shall know the truth, so the truth shall set you free." And this is what we need, folks, to set the eyes on higher ground, and then set your expectation to higher standard, and then at the end we all will be winners. Okay. Well, I see my brother just logged in, Mr. Gallen from the great city of Sunrise. Welcome to the Robert Duverny Show. I guess this show has launched on Tuesday. It's for you. This is the first time I'm seeing you logging into the Robert Duverny Show on Tuesday. I encourage you to make it a recurrence every so often, every Tuesday. That if it's 8 p.m., if it's Tuesday, it's the Robert Duverny Show. Well, my fellow Americans, I could not ask for a better audience. You have been very gracious. You have been loyal, and I'd like to thank the crew in the behind the scene and the production team who's willing doing a great work here, making sure that I look good on a regular basis. And she dressed me, and of course, and she's also we have a crew also in the blue room here who making sure to send out the memos to the viewers and the comments, and making sure that they reach to me. And I could not ask for a better crew. The Robert Duverny Show is very thankful for all of you, those of you who participate on a weekly basis, those of you who send out questions, those of you who spread the news, who talk to your friends about signing to this outstanding show. and of course my production team, my producer, who really she has been the word cannot describe her. I think she has been the conductor of this great symphony that we're playing, which is the Robert Duverny Show. Well, my fellow Americans, until next time, I'd like to thank you, and we look forward to seeing you in not too distant future. Hopefully next Tuesday will be the 16th. We look forward to seeing you back here with the same passion, and with more good news, because that's what we want. Good news that will uplift you, and showing you the very best of America. Until next time, my fellow Americans, have a lovely evening. Thank you.